Good morning, students. Today we'll discuss about a topic named civil disobedience movement. As you all know that in 1922, Mahatma Gandhi called up non-cooperation movement because of increasing number of violence in many places. One big violence occurred in Chauri Chora 1922 February, where unarmed crowd was picketing wine shop. Police came and did lathi charge, and that lathi charge turned people became angry with this lathi charge and they chased the police station. They beat the policemen run away and closed themselves to the police station. Their crowds chased them and they burned the police station. In that incident 22 policemen were killed. This incident shocked Mahatma Gandhi and he decided to call off non-cooperation movement. After this, Mahatma Gandhi was put in trial and Mahatma Gandhi was awarded 6 years imprisonment. But due to the poor health, he was released from the jail after 2 years. During that time period, some of the leaders of Congress party they wanted to take part in council election. So within the Congress party, leaders like Motilal Nehru and Chittaranjan Das they formed Swaraj Party. The aim of formation of Swaraj Party was to take part in council election and disturb the working of councils. Swaraj Party took part in council election, win number of seats, and started to create disturbance in council politics. But their movement became weakened after the death of C.R. Das. Some of the leaders like Jawaharlal Nehru and Subhash Chandra Bose they pressed for more radical mass movement for full independence. That's why they oppose Swaraj Party. Swaraj Party movements become weakened after the death of C.R. Das. Then after it, in 1928, to check the growth of India Act of 1919 and for the further constitutional development of the country, British government appointed a statutory commission under Sir John Simon as set up and this commission was appointed by the British government to check the growth of the development of 1919 Act and for the proposal of further constitution. Congress party decided to boycott it because all the members of that commission were British. Not a single Indian was included in it. So whenever this commission arrived in our country, it was greeted with black flag and gave slogan Simon go back. Wherever this commission went, it was treated like this. One such protest you heard about in class 8 that happened in Punjab, Lahore, where the protesters protesting the boycotting Simon Commission, British government did lathi charge and did lathi charge. Lala Lajpat Rai was badly wounded, and after some time he was died due to this. Then Bhagat Singh and others took the revenge by killing Saunders. This incident also famous in the name of Saunders Commission. So wherever this commission went, it was treated like this, and this famous slogan "Simon Go Back" was called, and various places demonstrations were organized in all over the country. Simon Commission prepared the report, and on the basis of this report, in England, roundtable conference were organized to discuss the issue of further constitutional proposal. Then in 1929, Swaraj dominant status was Lord Irwin prepared the proposal of dominant status to the Indians. Dominant status means that, as we all know, that after the First World War, Australia and Canada given the status of dominant status, means that the flag belonged to the British and the ruling of that particular country. शासन हमारा रहेगा लेकिन झंडा ब्रिटिश का रहेगा. That status they wanted to provide to Indians, but Indians refused to provide, and for the further proposal of the constitution, a round table conference were organized in England, in London, for the future constitutional amendments or development of the country to satisfy the Congress party and the radical leaders within the Congress party by Jawaharlal Nehru and Subhash Chandra Bose. They became more aggressive. They wanted active participation among the liberals and moderates who were proposing the constitutional system within the framework of British dominance gradually lost their influence in December 1929 under the presidency of Jawaharlal Nehru. Congress party decided in one of the sessions of Lahore, organized in Lahore, on the bank of River Ravi, that demanded Purn Swaraj or complete independence under the presidency of Jawaharlal Nehru, and they unfurled the national flag and decided that 26 January 1930 would be celebrated as the Independence Day, when people were to take appealed to struggle for complete independence. But celebration but this celebration attracted very little attention because people knew about Mahatma Gandhi's act of called up non Chori Chora because called up non-cooperation movement due to the incident of Chori Chora. So this time, on the time the Mahatma Gandhi called upon Swaraj, this time he called upon Purn Swaraj, but people attention was not there up to the mark. So Mahatma Gandhi had to find a way to relate this abstract idea of freedom to concrete issues of everyday life. For example, salt, because on the time due to the depression, economic depression, British government imposed taxes on things like salt that is used for daily uses. So Mahatma Gandhi decided to organize Salt March to get more popular support for common people. In 1930, Mahatma Gandhi sent a letter to Lord Irwin stating 11 demands. Some of these were general interest of others, and others were specific demand of different classes from Hindu Muslims to the for the industrialists up to the peasants as well. The most staring demand of all was the demand to abolish salt tax. If the demands were not fulfilled by 11th of March, the Congress could launch a civil disobedience campaign. Irwin was not interested to negotiate and he refused to accept the demand presented by Mahatma Gandhi. Then here is the picture of 1929's Lahore session, where proposal of Purn Swaraj was passed. Then after it, civil disobedience movement was launched but it was not so popular. So to attract the gain of common masses, Mahatma Gandhi decided to perform Salt March. To get the civil disobedience more popular, Gandhi and Salt March, one of the most memorable campaign to fight against oppression of Indians and for their independence was the Salt March or Salt Satyagraha. Its main purpose was to protest against the salt tax and the British were trying to impose upon the people of India. The picture to the left depicts the actual march and Gandhiji at the forefront. This was another campaign in which Gandhiji was using non-violent action to fight against the mismindset of the Indians by the British and to challenge the authority which the British was harshly improving up to the people of India. Gandhiji was leading the people towards Dandi. Gujarat is one of the coastal town of Gujarat in order to use the resources where the people, as you can see in that march, wandering singers were there. Then Gandhiji reached on April 5th, on that or when this march was started with 78 dedicated volunteers. You can see that these 78 volunteers were belong to the wandering singers who used to sing bhajan. As you can see, as you can hear in the background, Vaishnav Janto Te Mere Kahi Hai Na. This became very popular. Here are some facts about the Salt March. He believed that salt could be a powerful symbol to unite the whole nation. Most of people, including the British, scoffed at this at the idea. Abolition of salt tax was among many demands which were raised by Gandhiji through a letter to Viceroy Irwin. As we discussed about the letter of 11 demand, the Salt March or Dandi March was started by Gandhiji on 12th of March 1930. Some other important facts regarding the Salt March. The British law enacted to prevent the Indians from making their own salt. They had to buy heavily taxed salt from the government. Gandhiji used satyagraha to protest salt laws, protested by the marching 200 miles to the coast of to make salt. They reached on 5th of April and 6th of April. Mahatma Gandhi broke the salt law by making salt in his own hand. Then he relaunched civil disobedience movement, or in short we call it CDM. There is a slight difference between civil disobedience movement and non-cooperation movement. It was more aggressive than non-cooperation. As we discussed about that, people were now asked not only to refuse the cooperation within the British as they had done in 1921-22, but also to break colonial laws. People break salt law in great numbers, make salt of their own hands. As the government spread foreign clothes, foreign clothes were boycotted and liquor shops were picketed. Peasants refused to pay the revenue and chowkidari taxes in villages. Village officials resigned, and many places forest people violated forest laws. Going to the reserve forest, they entered the reserve forest and to collect the firewood and graze cattle. It was strictly prohibited by the British government, but people in many places violated the laws. Almost all over the country, the marches, demonstration, julus, every activity was started in the support of CDM. Here the activities during the CDM in many places, somewhere at this moment become very violent because of the brutal suppression done by the British government. Such activities like the colonial government began arresting Congress leaders one by one. This led to violent clashes in many places. One such protests were organized in Peshawar, where Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, he was called Frontier Gandhi, he was a disciple of Mahatma Gandhi, was arrested in April 1930. Angry crowd demonstrated in the streets of Peshawar facing armored cars and police firing in many places. Many people killed. A month later, when Mahatma Gandhi himself was arrested, industrial workers of Sholapur in many places, they started demonstration against it. Here the movement become very violent, and many places they destroy the government offices like police stations, then municipal buildings, law courts. Peaceful satyagrahis in many places, peaceful satyagrahis were attacked. Even women and children were beaten in publicly. Near about 1 lakh people were arrested. In such a situation, Mahatma Gandhi once again decided to call off due to the increasing number of violence, as he did in Chauri Chaura in 1922. He called up this movement and entered pact with the Erwin on 5th of March 1931. This pact is known as Gandhi-Erwin Pact. Gandhiji to participate in the Round Table Conference in London, and the government agreed to release the prisoners. This was one of the agenda of the Round Table Conference. Before the Round Table Conference, British government was ready to release the prisoners that were arrested in jail, and Mahatma Gandhi stopped the non-civil disobedience movement and took part in London to take part in the Round Table Conference. Here is one of the famous picture of Round Table Conference that where Mahatma Gandhi attended. There are a number of 3 Round Table Conferences were organized, and Mahatma Gandhi attended second one, because first one, during that time period, Mahatma Gandhi started civil disobedience movement. Mahatma Gandhi went to London for the conference, but negotiations broke down and returned disappointed. Ghaffar Khan and Jawaharlal Nehru in both were arrested. They were both arrested, and Congress party became declared illegal, and a series of measures and imposed to prevent the meetings and demonstrations for boycotts were organized in many places. In that circumstances, Mahatma Gandhi relaunched civil disobedience movement, but this time popular support was not there, so only dedicated workers of Congress party were running this movement. Finally, in 1934, the movement lost its momentum, and Mahatma Gandhi called up CDM again in 1934. That's it for the video.